Hello everybody, my name is Kevin. This is my project on uranium, and this is a school project that I have dedicated to my science teacher because I really like uranium. Now, to begin, let's think of uranium for a bit, like have some bit of context. First think of uranium, you're like, yes, uranium. The element that makes you look with a remote control, sometimes it's called a Geiger counter, and you think, yes, that's radioactive. Or if like me, to where you're like, yes, uranium, yes, spicy elements, spicy metals. The thing I like it also very much to be a renewable means to be used as fuel. I love uranium. Thank you very much. I like it. Now me, I just happen to be the latter, and I like uranium a lot. You may wonder, Kevin, why do you like uranium? Well, as a starter, it glows in the dark. Also, nuclear power. But seriously, uranium with nuclear power plants, it can fuel a world with fossil fuels soon going to dry up. Uranium in nuclear reactor will be the next step. And now to get on with uranium, let's have some backstory for our new child. Uranium was discovered in 1789 by some unknown German scientist, chemist at the time, who by the name of, Martin Heinrich Klopferoth. You don't know him, you're just watching this video for fun. I don't know who he was either until I started making this video. But if you do chemistry and like chemistry history, hit me up, because I need to know more if he's kind of famous for just besides uranium. Now, our story starts back again to where he was just, in his lab, and he was analyzing some pitchblende samples in the former kingdom of Bohemia, which is now located in present-day Czechia, when he was dissolving pitchblende in nitric acid and neutralizing the solution with sodium hydroxide. Now Martin assumed the yellow substance coming off of it was the oxide of a yet undiscovered element, and heated it with charcoal to obtain a black powder, which he thought was the newly discovered metal itself, uranium, which, of course, anyone who saw anything unusual with sciences in, the 1700s would have thought, I found an element, I'm so smart, oh my god. Now, with his newly found discovery, he first named it Uranus, after the planet Uranus, because, at the time, naming things after Greek or Roman gods, or just naming it after yourself, was pretty common. But at the time, Uranus wouldn't really go, because, pretty shunned upon. Be like, it's an it? To where he then just named it uranium due to common day naming standards. Even with all that backstory, the reason why we know uranium is radioactive is that in 1896, another dude named Henry Becquerel left a piece of uranium on top of an exposed photographic plate in a drawer, and when he came back, he noted that it became fogged, and he decided to go, the uranium did it! Oh my god! It's so new! Oh my god, uranium! It's reactive! It's radioactive! He thought some invisible rays or light had exposed it to where it became fogged. Now, with all the backstory we have, let's look at some of its properties for our child. It has some cool tips and tricks. But as we know, uranium is a pretty active boy. It's also a very old boy. But uranium still has some cool tricks, even an old dog can learn some new tricks. 1. Do not eat it. It is a toxic metal. It will kill you. Do not ingest it. Do not try to breathe it in. Do not try to lick it, because you will die. Literally, you will die. 2. It's a really radioactive and really reactive material. Quite literally, when it's in a powder form, at any moment, it can just spontaneously burst on fire if it's exposed to air or water. So if you have some, powdered uranium somewhere, don't put it into your room or put it by a pool, because it'll just be like, I'ma burn up. Now, number 3, uranium itself is a very dense metal, with it with its density that I'm currently learning in science. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. You might admire this. With it being 19.1 grams centimeters cubed. I'm still getting that down in science, but I know what it is. Don't bully me, Ms. Thompson. I'm taking your work seriously. Oh, its melting boiling points are 2,007 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. Like California, New Vegas, Nevada, and Arizona hot, and its melting point being 7,468 degrees Fahrenheit. I am not joking with that. 7,000 degrees. Anyway, moving on. Number 5. If you're trying to adopt this, you won't really have to worry about it going through puberty and stinking, because it is literally odorless and tasteless. You can't smell it, and you can't taste it. And anyone who probably even tried to lick or smell it is probably too dead to tell you, like, yeah, this uranium just like uranium poisoning. But at least it would have saved on deodorant. X6. Uranium is a silvery white in color. No amount of tanning or sunscreen will change it. You can't put it into a tanning bed because it will still remain silvery white. I'm sorry to everyone who tries to get a tan. Your friend Uranium cannot get a tan. We are sorry about that. We are trying to fix that inside the next Earth update, but that might probably come in Earth 2, or probably after the second coming of Christ, or probably when God floods the Earth again, which might be soon on how we see the Earth currently. Number 7. I know I probably should have included this earlier, but it is a metal. It's not a metalloid currently, but it is a metal. Thank you for coming to part 1 of my TED Talk. Chapter 4. Uranium's bio. Now, with your child uranium, it's a person. It's multiple things. It's element number 92. Its atomic mass is 238.03. I know that's pretty heavy. It's 92 protons, 92 electrons, and 146 neutrons. Uranium also has other cousins. I know, unknown. And its most common cousins is uranium-235. It has 138 neutrons. Uranium-238 has 146 neutrons. And uranium-234 has 142 neutrons. Speaking of uranium's cousins, it has 39 of them. I know, that's a lot of cousins. Probably more than your average West Coast or probably even Southern family, because I don't know what they're doing, but you somehow have an infinite amount of cousins to where you're probably related to the Prime Minister of Equatorial Guinea, who turns out to be your uncle or your cousin. To where somehow, if they come over, you'll say, "I'm your older cousin. You can't sit here." Weird. But now, these cousins of uraniums, they are called isotopes. All of which, including uranium, are unstable. They are not stable in any way. So they're probably the crazy little cousins you have. And they're probably pretty much active cousins. And speaking of which, uranium has 3 most common cousins. As I said, uranium-235, 238, and 234. Now, uranium, just like any other element, has half-lives. And all of the main cousins of uranium consist of uranium-235 having a half-life of, 4.63 billion years. Uranium-235 has a half-life of 704 million years. And on the more lower end, with uranium-234, it has a half-life of, 245 and 500,000 years. Now, if you are a reasonable person, those are some pretty old kids. And on how half their lives will probably outlive you, and will most likely, you will die before them. I know. Gnarly, dude. Or existential crisis, knowing that you will die before your children. For thousands of years, they will live on without you. Some billions, some millions of years will live after you and will have to carry your death with you. You were supposed to be their mother and be their father or parent if you're gender neutral, but no. Your kids will have to bury your death for billions of years. That's horrible. That's sad. Anyway, continuing on. some of uranium's uses current modern day life, which I'm gonna list a few, and that'll start shortly. I'm kind of wrapping it up this quickly because kind of as like an editor note. I'm currently at the point it's about 2 pages long, and I need to get this out as quickly because this is a school project, and I'll now go over some common uses. Also, I was writing this on February 10th, 2026 at around 10 to 11 p.m. Bit past my bedtime. To start with military usage, I'm a bit well versed in this kind of area because, well, I like military stuff. I play War Thunder. I look at tanks. I go look at manuals of fighter jets and tanks for fun in school because I have nothing else because everything else is blocked except YouTube and also a couple games. But I just go look at tanks and planes and trains in the Wikipedia articles and also like their manuals because they're free. 1. Uranium is more widely used with the Army, well, depleted uranium inside the M1 Abrams tank. It's not actual uranium, it's only depleted uranium, and it's used inside of its armor because I'll get into that later. And now for the reason why it is used inside the armor of the Abrams tank is because the layers of depleted uranium are added into the armor due to uranium being a denser metal than some materials. It also provides added protection, and it's added around the turret and hull for protection. Uranium is also mainly used due to its high density. It's also used in ammunition of armored vehicles, unlike the M1 Abrams. It's not just the Abrams that gets the uranium. Your Bradley gets it too. Soldiers, have fun out there, knowing that you have depleted uranium, which won't kill you, but if you're on a nuclear submarine, probably might kill you because they have nuclear reactors, and if they leak, you're dead. A bit sidetracked, but also reason why, also still inside the M1 Abrams, depleted uranium is also added into the ammunition of armored vehicles, like the M1 Abrams, because it provides a straighter trajectory towards target, and it also gets added penetration, which you kind of need that because you don't want your round just ricocheting off or just barely even penetrating the enemy vehicle. You want it to go in, probably blow up, get the engine, and if you fight against Russians, make sure you and aim at the lower frontal plate because that's where it's actually like most leastly armored. Also, if you get the ammo rack, it'll cook off, go boom, go into space. It'll probably last longer than the current Su-57, which gets little to no airtime because it's not even a real stealth fighter. It has the radar size of a city block, but that'll be another video to rant on about. What civilian uses for uranium obviously is nuclear power. A bit less talked about it is also its uses in medicine. So let's get into some of its more positive benefits of uranium. With nuclear power, uranium acts like a fuel source alongside thorium, but we don't really use thorium a lot. But it's mainly actually uranium. But uranium is used more commonly as a fuel source. Now the reasons why we use uranium in nuclear power is due to uranium-235 being easy to go under nuclear fission. I'm not going into that because I'm not a nuclear scientist and I'm only a 14-year-old and I'm in 8th grade. But the simple version is that the uranium-235 nucleus is just easier to split, ergo creating what energy we wish to attain. Therefore, the energy, it heats up the water, creating steam and it drives a turbine. But it's a whole process. The uranium-235 is also easy to kind of sustain those chain reactions we want with the nuclear power to get it going, to keep on continuously creating energy, because we'll have the uranium, split it, we get energy, have the uranium, split it, power. Now your home is fueled with zero CO2 emissions, and it's clean. Now, some medical uses with uranium, well, more specifically depleted uranium, because we can't just have that stuff just lying around, is equipment and shielding of X-rays or treatment for cancer, as in radiotherapy. A small explanation of radiotherapy is that it's used in shielding from gamma radiation. Medicine, it can be used to shrink tumors and treating diseases, and also be used in research. In fact, researchers have uranium-2, the uranium-230 isotope, Whereas in set in energy.gov, where it says alpha emitting isotopes to treat diseases. Uranium could also be used in pharmaceuticals and be called radiopharmaceuticals and help shrink tumors. Truly smart. So while uranium has so much more uses inside the world, at the time of me writing the script, it was 11:21 p.m. EST on a school night, and it's currently 7:26 p.m. when I'm recording this. And all of it says that we should adopt uranium more. There should be less fear, but also like still a bit of more acceptance of uranium, and also like on how it's used, and obviously when it's used in wrong and dumb ways, it can get people injured and killed. Still, I'm here to tell you to not eat uranium. Don't. It probably tastes nasty, and can't really even taste it as we know it. But still, notice somehow I'm still using past tense with me saying to don't eat it. You'd be dead by then. Now, truly for the last time, I'm Kevin Jenkins. Thank you for listening, reading, or watching my TikTok when I make this video.